You were first on the Art Linkletter TV series, huh?
Yes, well, the Art Link letter, the way they did it was they would send out a letter to, they'd pick a school and a principal, and the principal would get the letter, and then she would choose a teacher, and the teacher would end up then choosing four children, or I think it was four children, yes, four or five children from the classroom, and I was one of them that was picked in, I guess, first grade, and then the studio started to call back personally afterwards. So I was on there about four times. And each time they asked me to do a song because the original teacher said, when they asked, well, what does she do? Does she like art? Does she like this? What is she? What? She sings. She likes to sing. And so he had me, I sang When You Wish Upon a Star the first time, then Beautiful Dreamer the second time. My mother's coaching me. She's showing me how to do this. Interestingly, it sounds like my mother was like Mama Rose in the movie that it was going to ultimately play in at one point, but she wasn't a Mama Rose. She wasn't aggressive. She wasn't that way. Everybody loved her. She was always there on the set. She was my guardian. She was everything. She got me piano lessons. She got me dance lessons. She wanted to get me singing lessons, but Professor Voorhees at the American Conservatory of Music and Arts said she's not old enough yet. Her vocal cords are not developed yet, so we'll wait a little bit on that. And she says, okay. And I did the rest of my stuff. Summers were spent for the most of the week going to dancing classes, and we used to go to theater, and I remember going to see Gypsy that was downtown in Los Angeles. Little did I know that a few short years later that I would be playing Dainty June in the movie Gypsy.
Which was an amazing opportunity for you. And even, prior to that, this was, yeah.
Little
what cuties there, huh? Little Bo Peep and Babes in Toyland, of course, being affiliated with Disney. What was that like at such a young age to be a part of something which is, there's a cult following for anything that is Disney oriented, but just to be a part of something so spectacular and beautifully produced as Babes in Toyland?
It was apparently it was the first movie that was both animation and live action kind of a movie, and it was the first of its kind. I didn't really, while that was an interesting thing to me more as I got older and looking in retrospect, originally what I thought was, are you kidding me? I'm standing inside of a dressing room where they're taking my measurements to make me a dress for Little Bo Peep, and they're doing my hair and they're doing my makeup and everything, and here I am pretending what kids all do, and getting paid for it. But that didn't really matter to me that much. And my mother and father would always place the money back into me. My mother never owned a fur, kind of like my Yiddish mama. She, her jewels and her treasures were in her children. And so it was an amazing thing. And I met Mr. Disney. And in fact, here's a little bit of a tidbit for you. On the set, my mother got a notation that Mr. Disney wanted to meet with me and with her, and would we please come up to the office at such and such a time. So we said, okay, fine. We went over there. He had us sit at his table. There was this big, beautiful desk there, as I recall, but I was little, so everything was big to me. And anyway, he started with my mother. He says, Mrs. Nocieda, you have a beautiful name. However, it is a little bit difficult to pronounce. And it's customary here in the industry, because we think that Ann is going to have a career ahead of her. And we'd like to have her, we'd like to give her a professional name, because that's something that we do often here. And he said, so if it's all right with you, we would like to change her name and her last name and give her a professional name. And my mother, being the wise woman that she was, said, well, you know the best. And so we went ahead, and Jack Donahue, who was the director of the film, said, my daughter's name is Jill. Your daughter's name is Ann. Let's put an I in the middle of it, and it'll be Jillian. Is that all right with you? Do you like it? And she said, yes, of course, I like it. And so from that point on, I was Ann Jillian with two N's at the end of it. And I got tired of writing my name as the years went by with the two N's because it looked a little sloppy at the end. So I just dropped the one N and became Jillian. And that's who gave me my name. It was Walt Disney, which amazes me even to today. Walt Disney gave me my professional name, and Jack Donahue.
That is incredible, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, considering all the names he gave and to his characters, that was a good one to give you.
it was a good one. It did me well for a long time.
Absolutely right.